Today, I'm going to show you the difference between spiral knots and square knots, how to estimate measurements for both, and how to add cord when your outer cords start to run out. For both knots, you will need 2 outer cords and 1 or more inner cords to work with. To make the spiral knot, bring 1 outer cord over the inner cords and behind the other outer cord. Then take that other outer cord and bring it behind the inner cords and back over your starting outer cord. Repeat this step, always starting from the same side, as the outer cords start to spiral around the inner cords. Even when the cords rotate around to the back, you can still work from the front as long as you keep starting on the same side. To make a square knot, you start the same as a spiral knot. Bring your starting outer cord over the inner cords and behind the other outer cord. Then bring the other outer cord behind the inner cords and over your starting outer cord. And now, instead of starting on the same side, you start from the other side. Same pattern, over the inner cords and under the outer cord, then behind the inner cords and over the starting cord. From there, you alternate starting on each side. If you accidentally start with the same side twice, you'll notice as your cords will start to spiral like a spiral knot. If you ever lose track of which side to start with next, this guy on the side is your clue. Whichever side this guy is on is the side that you start with to tie your next knot. Alternating starting sides keeps square knots flatter as the cords lay flat across the inner cords, while repeating starting sides causes the cords to start spiraling around the inner cords, making the spiral knot bulkier and sometimes more dense depending on your tension. With both knots, the outer cords do most of the work and require more length. When I'm estimating length for a chain of square knots or spiral knots, I figure my inner cord length as about 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 times the desired chain length, and my outer cord length as anywhere from 5 to 6 times the chain length. After knotting these chains, I found that square knots consistently needed 4 1/2 to 5 times longer outer cords, while spiral knots needed 5 to 5 1/2 times longer outer cords. Basically what this means is that this 10-inch section of square knots uses about 60 inches of cord, 50 for the outer cord plus 10 for the inner cord. That doesn't count the cord used in the lark's head knot to attach it to the dowel rod or any extra you might need at the ends for more tying or fringe. As an example, here is another 10-inch chain using cords cut to 75 inches each, folded to 60 inches and 15 inches. In this case, the outer cord measures about 6 times the finished length, while the inner cord is only 1 1/2 times the finished length, but the full length of the cord is 75 inches, almost 8 times the finished project length. Spiral knots use just a little bit more cord than square knots, so keep that in mind when estimating. I always overestimate cord length because I'd rather have leftover scraps than have to add cord, but you can add cord if your outer cords start to run short or you just want to change colors.